the village of Umuocha, the birth of twins resulted in their deaths. The elders regarded twins with apprehension, and the witch doctor was responsible for seeking them out. However, upon the return of a young girl from exile, marked by hardship, the forest demanded justice. This raises the question of what happens when a village tries to destroy what the gods have created. This is the story of the forbidden birth. In the historical village of Umuocha, where baobab trees were said to hold cultural significance, and traditional drums served as mediums for preserving oral history, there existed a law regarded with significant anxiety: the prohibition of twins. The elders believed that twins indicated divine anger, viewing them as spirits appearing together because one soul was considered insufficient to contain their power. When a mother gave birth to two children, the village custom was to take them into the evil forest and leave them there until dawn for the spirits. The villagers did not question this practice, as it was part of their long-standing traditions. But deep in the heart of this harsh land lived Dike, a yam farmer with hands strong enough to break stone, and his wife, Nneka, whose voice once turned sorrow into laughter. For years, they begged the gods for a child. Each season passed like wind through empty baskets, and still their compound knew no cry of a child. One evening, beneath a blood-red moon, Nneka knelt by the river bank and whispered into the flowing water, "Chukwu, great creator, give me a child, even one. I will give them back to you in goodness, in kindness. Just let me hold a life." And the river listened. Several months went by, during which Nneka showed clear signs of pregnancy. Observing this development, some women in Umuocha speculated that the long-standing curse might have come to an end. On a night when the moon was exceptionally bright and the usual sound of nocturnal birds were absent, Nneka began to labor. Her cries broke the quiet of the evening. Mama Efwa, the midwife, promptly entered the hut to assist. After the delivery was completed, the temperature in the room was cold. 2 babies were born, 1 male and 1 female, Obinna and Adannaya. "Twins!" Mama Efwa said quietly, her hands shaking slightly. "Chukwu, grant us forgiveness." Dike felt his chest constrict. Outside, whispers rose like smoke. There were 2 cries. Twins has been born in Umuocha. This is considered a curse. He was fully aware of the consequences and the subsequent proceedings. The gathering of the elders, the preparation of banana leaves, and the orderly procession into the evil forest. At dawn, Nneka held her daughter. Her complexion was pale, her voice a prayer, and she spoke quietly. "They will not take my children." Dike, visibly affected, nodded in agreement. "In that case, one should be hidden and the other one we must give up." No, Nneka replied firmly. We will not surrender them. Our responsibility is to ensure their protection. That evening, equipped only with a charm-woven cloth and driven by maternal determination, Nneka departed into the wilderness with Adannaya. Her destination was Igbako, a place where twin birds were regarded with reverence, and where she intended to look for her cousin. Dike stayed behind, hiding Obinna in a hollow beneath their sleeping mat. When the elders came, he held up the boy, his face blank with grief. My wife passed away. This child is all that is left. However, the elders remained unconvinced. We had two cries. Grief influenced perception, Dike responded. Meanwhile, Agbara, the witch doctor, observed the proceedings. Far from home, Nneka lived like a shadow in Igbako. Adannaya grew in safety, her eyes bright but always searching. Nneka told her of Umuocha, the land that has cast them out. Why did we leave? Adannaya would ask. Because some hearts fear what they cannot explain. Nneka said, one day we will return, not to beg, but to remind them that love is not a curse. In Umuocha, Obinna grew up in a quiet environment. Dike would occasionally tell stories about a courageous girl from another place, but he did not mention her name. But Obinna frequently stood by the river, experiencing the wind as it carried a name he almost remembered, Adannaya. He whispered like a prayer lost in time. A trap of shadows. Agbara, the witch doctor, became increasingly suspicious. He observed Obinna staring at reflections, his discomfort at remarks about twins, and the noticeable tension in the atmosphere surrounding him. Agbara summoned the spirit snake, a being believed to dictate hidden truths. The snake was sent to bite Obinna to determine if a twin spirit offered him protection. As the snake moved towards Obinna, a strong wind broke a palm tree, causing the snake to retreat and vanish. Agbara concluded that the twin spirit protected Obinna and noted that this action went against the intentions of the gods. During the next village meeting, Agbara announced in a commanding voice, "It has come to our attention that Obinna is a twin. His sister is alive, and the tradition requires that balance be maintained in accordance with the forest expectations. Fear is louder than reason." That night, a mob dragged Obinna from his home. Dike, beaten and bloodied, could only scream, "He's just a boy." At the forest edge, the elders raised their hands. "Return him to the darkness. One life must pay for two." But before they could cast him in, "Stop!" A voice like thunder shattered the night. From the trees stepped out Adannaya, now a young warrior of Igbako, her body painted with sacred ash, a spear in her hand, but she was not alone. Dozens of warriors followed her, men and women, mothers and fathers, each carrying twins on their backs. Behind them came Nneka, eyes blazing like fire. "You want to kill my son," she cried. "Then kill me too." Adonaiah stepped forward and said, "You referred to us as cursed. Could you explain your reasoning?" From within the forest, a sound emerged, resembling collective lament of numerous voices, the cries of twins who had been abandoned. Figures started to appear, children made of mist and moonlight. One reached out and touched Elder Ugonna. "Why didn't you want me?" Another whispered into Abara's ear, "I could have been your son." The ground shook. The sky turned black. Even though there were no clouds, fireflies filled the air, each carrying a whisper. Abara yelled as his charms burned his skin. "We were wrong! We were wrong!" For 7 days, the spirit of the twins wandered through the village, not causing harm, just observing and sitting by doorways and standing next to empty cradles. By the 8th day, the spring had run dry. The yam plants withered. Children coughed from thirst. Then Adonaiah and Obinna knelt at the edge of the forest. They built an altar from shattered pottery and wept together. They sang the lullaby Nneka once sang to the moon. "Sleep, little leopard, do not cry. The sky watches over you, and so do I." The twin spirits placed their ghostly hands on the sibling's head and disappeared. And then it rained. Not the angry rain of the gods, but a gentle healing rain that soaked the earth with forgiveness. When the sun rose again, Nneka stood in the village square with her arms outstretched, her voice steady. "You feared what was sacred. Now you must honor it." At the next council meeting, Elder Ugonna raised a trembling hand. "From this day forward, twins will be known as Nwachukwu, children of the sky god. Anyone who harms them will answer to the forest." Many years later, Umuocha celebrates the twin festival with even more joy than the New Yam festival. The people dance to 2 rhythms, one strong like a warrior's heartbeat, the other gentle like a healer's touch. And if you visit the forest edge at dusk, you might still see 2 shadows, one male and one female, dancing in the wind. The moral of the story: when we fear what is different, we risk rejecting the very blessings sent to us. Every life, no matter how unexpected, is sacred. And when truth is hidden, it always finds a way back, stronger and louder than before.